Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm pretty stoked about this episode. Today we're going to get into laser engraving, and I'll be reviewing the Wizmaker Wand Mini, a pint-sized diode laser engraver. Now, full disclosure, Wizmaker did send over this unit for me to check out, but they aren't paying me for this review and they have no control over the content. All of the opinions, good, bad, and the ugly, are entirely my own. My goal is to give you guys the honest truth so you can decide whether it's right for your projects. With that out of the way, let's dive into the specs. The Wand Mini comes in two flavors, 2.5 and 3.5 watts. This unit is the 2.5 watt version. It boasts a 0.04 millimeters squared spot size. That's incredibly tiny, which should lend itself to some high detail work. It has an advertised working area of 135 by 155 millimeters, which is debatable, and we'll get to that later. A maximum travel speed of 12,000 millimeters per minute, or 200 millimeters per second. It has a manual focus system with a built-in focus knob that eliminates guesswork and couldn't be easier to use. It's designed to handle everything from wood, bamboo, leather, stone, coated metals, and if you're feeling daring, even your morning toast. Now let's get into it. All right, let's get this thing unboxed. Now, first impressions, this is a surprisingly well packaged box. I'm not shaking it too hard, but you tell everything is situated well in there. Got our operation guide. Set that aside. And our user manual. The Wizmaker Wand Mini user manual. Set that aside. Got some cut foam. Let's see. Got a pair of protective glasses. Gonna be important. What else do we got? Got a little grab bag of goodies here. Looks like cables. We got a little adjustment wrench. USB-C. And a looks like a spare belt. What else? We have a power supply. There's a little power brick. AC adapter. Oh, this must be the laser module itself. Gonna have to look at the instructions, but doesn't look like there's a whole lot of assembly that's required here. Got some more, oh, some desiccant packet, more foam. And then here's the unit itself. Oh, actually, this is substantial for its size. Let's get the box out of the way now. And here it is. This is the whole machine. So first impressions, it's a little guy. Look at it. Looks pretty good. Got a wire here to connect. And there's no cable chain, but everything is within this braided wire shield here. Looks like NEMA 17s. And belt drive. We have a single motor controlling the Y-axis and a single motor controlling the X-axis. Let's open up the user manual and get to it. Okay, assembly and setup. We're going to install the laser module and tighten the fixing screw. So here, this is our little 2.5 watt laser. Let's peel off this protective plastic. Okay, and let's get this turned around so I can see better. This is the fixing screw here. Oh, I see. There isn't going to be a set height. You can adjust this for whatever the height of your material is. whatever it is you're engraving on or cutting. And then this will just plug in. Nice. And there it is. That was it. Hey, future Roman here. I didn't realize this when I did the initial assembly, but there was actually a little bit of play here in the carriage. So that was an easy fix. I just referenced the user manual, used the included wrench, and tightened up those eccentric nuts. They were a little bit hard to get to, but easy to figure out, and that took the play right out, and now it should be rolling right. So let's get back to it. Let's take a look at the user manual. The user manual is written in several languages and is surprisingly thorough. There are plenty of detailed illustrations as well as photographs, making it easy to understand. I know the assembly was short and straightforward, but for other tasks like maintenance and troubleshooting, this is a big help. Software and resources. So we're going to need to install a driver, it says. You can copy and install the driver from the USB flash drive included with your machine. I don't see a USB flash drive. I'm not finding a flash drive, but that's okay. Yeah, this is just a cable. Looks like I'm going to have to go hunt down this driver. At least they do give you the link, so you can go type this out and find that file. Oh, and also apparently you can install the driver directly from Laser Gerbil, which this supports. Let's take a look at the Laser Gerbil operation guide. Oh, this is a completely separate. This is not. This is the operation guide, not for the machine. This is for Laser Gerbil. So shows you how to download, how to install, connection instructions, getting that set up, setting up a file, engraving, and that's actually I'm impressed. These are considerable manuals. You know, they're not leaving you out there to guess or have to go on Reddit. So that's pretty great. So far, so good. Okay, great. So before we get started, set this thing up and start ripping, I just want to set up like a spoil board or something that I can laser a grid onto. And so for that, I've got a sheet of plywood cut to roughly the same dimensions. And if we flip the machine over here, we can see, in addition to the rubber feet, we've got some 1/4-20 threads right there. So that's a pretty cool feature. That's going to allow me to put some holes in the spoil board there and just drive some very standard 1/4-20 screws through, and that's going to hold this nice and secure in the same place each time. So I'm pretty excited about that. Once you get it screwed down to a spoil board though, if you're trying to laser or engrave onto something that's a little bit larger than the work area here, there's a nice space below so you can slide material underneath. I'm gonna give this a try with some spoons. We're gonna give a few other things a try and just see what this little machine can do. Let's get to it. Okay, now we are ready to go. That is nice and tight. Just hit my first snag trying to engrave the grid onto the machine or onto the wasteboard. Even though this is only 154 millimeters, the design, it's triggering the machine alarm. I think it's hitting the hard limit. So even though I guess technically the machine might have 155 millimeter travel in the Y direction, I'm not able to get that. So I'm gonna go go back to Illustrator and refine this grid, make it 10 millimeters shorter, and we'll see if that does anything. And that did the trick. So even though there may be 155 millimeters of travel, you're really only going to get about 145 millimeters for actual cutting and engraving. Let's go ahead and get the software set up. So first I'm just going to go to lasergerbil.com. This is the official page for the free software, LaserGerbil. We'll hit download, and that'll take us to the download page, and then hit the download button and save that there into my downloads folder. And as soon as that's done, we can get that installed. And just say yes. And let's go ahead and launch LaserGerbil. First, what I'm going to do is install a driver, and you can do that straight from LaserGerbil through Tools and hit Install CH340 Driver. And we will install, and I'm assuming it did that. All right, I guess it's installed. So now what we'll do is plug in our power and plug in our USB-C cable. These ports on the back are labeled. There's a USB-A labeled accessory, and then this USB-C labeled computer, and that's the one I'll plug in. And if we go to the back here, we can connect that to our PC. And this immediately jumped to COM5, so I'm assuming it's detected, and I'll say connect. Boom, and it says it's connected. So let's try to home the machine for the first time. Oh, home, there we go. Whoa. I just needed to hit the reset button, and that homed fast. Okay, so we're gonna do all of our cuts and all of our tests here in LaserGerbil, because that's a good free piece of software. But I do wanna show that this machine is compatible with Lightburn, which is really a much more powerful kind of industry standard piece of software. So just want to show that. Let's load up Lightburn here. All right, sweet. All right, so you can see we were able to load up a file here real quick. You can hit frame. It's gonna outline the file. Okay. So Lightburn is a much more in-depth piece of software. I'm not going to really get into it. There's probably a ton of YouTube videos on all the specifics and how to use it. But I did just want to show that totally compatible, works great with this machine. So. All right, so the machine has two safety features according to the website. It has flame detection and tilt detection. I'm not entirely sure how to test the flame detection without exposing this to an open flame, but we are going to check the tilt detection, which I think is rather important, especially because of this machine's size. It could definitely be knocked off of a tabletop or a desk, and that could create a pretty hazardous situation if that happens while the laser is running. I'm going to get a job started, and while it's going, we'll manhandle it and see if the machine detects that and if it stops. Let's go. Okay, it's going, it's starting its engrave, and let's... Oh, so far nothing. It's still going. I was not expecting that. Okay, those were pretty unexpected results. I actually thought it was gonna shut off or something, but it's showing a green status light, and I don't know. Yeah, so go figure. Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. And I think before I launch this video, I will reach out to Wizmaker and just see, oh, what's the deal? Okay, so now I can jog the machine around. Now that I've, I guess, homed towards the back of the machine when I hit home, it goes to its 0 point, which is the lower left. And let's hit generate here and say power and speed test. And that is going to give us a small sample of how this thing is going to do. And what I've got is just a piece of 1/2 inch Baltic birch plywood to do some little test engravings on. I'm just going to say all of these settings will be default. And I'll hit create. It says it's loading, so we'll just give it a minute. This is a very, very slow computer. Actually, while we're waiting on that to load, I can go ahead and show you how to focus the laser, and it's super dead simple. There's a knob right here on the side of the laser module, and you just turn that, then you just slide the laser module down until that knob is touching the work surface. Then you tighten this back up, and that is focused and ready to rock. Okay, we got our thing. It finally loaded. It's basically just a grid, various speeds, various amounts of power. So now that we have that loaded, let's just make sure that it's the correct size. I'm gonna put these cool shades on and hit outline. So now that we know the stock is in the correct position, we can go ahead and hit this play button up top, run program. And it's gonna give us a warning. Put these bad boys on, and then it's gonna start. Look at it go. All right. Man, that's pretty wild. So the results of our first strength and speed test. Look at that. All right, now the laser's not running, we can take these off and admire the handiwork. Holy smokes. I don't know how well this is coming across on camera. These letters are tiny. We're not even able to zoom in. There we go. That is absolutely tiny and still crystal clear. I noticed that Laser Gerbil has a few more tests. There's a cutting test, an accuracy test, a shake test. Cutting, now this is only a 2.5 watt laser. I'm not sure outside of paper if it's gonna really be able to cut anything, but we can definitely fire up the accuracy test and let's see how that goes. All right, so we got the accuracy test finished up. This text is so small it's a little hard to read, but this distance should be 20 millimeters. That is pretty spot on. Looking good there. And then the other axis, let's make sure that we're zeroed out. That is pretty freaking good right there. Holy smokes. We're looking spot on. And this should be 10. That is not too bad. Okay, so those initial tests went really well. And now I'm kind of excited to start using this thing. So I've set up the cutting test generator. We're gonna generate a cutting test. I know we're not gonna be able to cut through this 1/2 inch birch plywood, but I do have a square here of this, this 1/8 inch basswood. Let's see if we can get it to focus on that. As well as some thicker construction paper, some cardstock here, and then just a sheet of regular white paper. But yeah, let's start with the small and go up from there. Okay, I don't think I actually have to continue this test. Even on the fastest feed rate with only one pass, it had no problem cutting through. All right, cutting test number 2. This is the construction paper. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna stop this test here too. Wow, check that out. All right, for test number 3, we're gonna be doing, this is the 1/8 inch basswood. Because it's a little bit thicker, I'm going to refocus the laser. Super easy to do though. All right, let's give this test a go. This is the cut test number 3 with 1/8 inch basswood. Wow, wow. All right, that's a surprise to me. Okay, only 2 of the squares cut out. But that's more than I thought would happen. 2.5 watts. Cut an 1/8 inch thick. That's pretty cool. And the rest of these, you know, the text engraved beautifully, I think. Look at that. Wild. Man, I'm excited about this now. Yeah, I can't wait to see what else it can do. All right, time for a test that I'm really excited about. I wanted to do a full picture here with me and my wonderful shop assistant, Mary. So I found a nice photo, cropped it. That went pretty well, I think. About to hit start here. Oh, one more thing. There is a material database in Laser Gerbil, but it doesn't have any specific settings for the Wizmaker Wand Mini. What I was able to do is reference the speed and power test, and I felt like the best gradient we got was 2,000 millimeters per minute. That allowed us to get some nice dark rich tones as well as some really light stuff, so hopefully that's gonna do well for this photo. Oh, also the resolution that I'm using is 20 lines per millimeter. I don't know if that's the best or the worst, but that's where we're gonna start. So let's see how this test goes. This is quite dark, so obviously settings issue there. So let's give it another try and see how it turns out. Okay, so I think we finally got this licked. Let me bring up this latest attempt at the photo, and I've gotten rid of all of the horizontal banding just by doing a diagonal patterns. Yeah, I think that looks pretty decent. Obviously some of the, you know, there's some remnants of the wood grain and stuff in there, but yo, Mary girl, that's you. Anyways, I'm glad I was able to finally get that situation sorted out. Obviously, I have a lot of learning to do as far as operating this machine and getting the most out of it, but it seems pretty capable. All right, so I don't have other materials to test for this machine, but I do have bread. Let's make some toast. I've got the DCS logo loaded up here in Lightburn, so all I have to do is hit start. Oh my God, you guys, this is actually working. Oh my God, all right, I can't believe that worked. The smell is something else. I don't recommend anyone do this at home, but you can. So there we have it. Off camera, I ran a few more tests, and I'm super impressed with the results that I was able to achieve right away. I wasn't able to test painted metals, stone, or acrylic, but it handled everything I was able to throw at it, including cutting out these 1/8 inch thick basswood earrings. Now let's look at the pros and cons, starting with the cons. First, in my package there was no USB stick with software or test files. It was easy enough to get started, but the manual references a USB stick, and maybe mine just got lost during packaging. Second, there were no test materials. It would have been nice if they had included some swatches with the machine to kick the tires and see what it can do. Third, the slightly smaller than advertised working area. I was actually only able to get 135 by 145 millimeters, 10 millimeters short. Last, safety. The tilt detection may not work as expected. Perhaps it was due to how I mounted it to the wasteboard, but maybe not. I reached out for clarification from Wizmaker, but I haven't gotten an official response yet. When I do, I'll make sure to update you guys in the comments. Now for the pros. First, the sturdy build quality. Even with some plastic components, the machine has heft, and I found it to be well designed. It feels more premium than budget. Second, it comes with easy to read manuals with clear illustrations. There was no getting lost. I knew exactly what to do. Third, it works great with free software, so there's no additional cost to getting started. Next, the small build size. For some that's a con, but I like that it's portable with a low investment for space. It can easily fit in a drawer or be tucked away when not in use. And last, the excellent price. I mean, seriously, this is one of the most affordable machines I've seen, and it performs way above its low price point. So, my take. If you're a hobbyist like me and looking to add some custom flair to your work, or you're just curious about getting into laser engraving, I think this is a fantastic place to start. I began this review knowing basically nothing about laser engraving, but seeing what's possible has me really excited to integrate this into future projects. Now, it hasn't been completely painless. There is a definite learning curve here, but if you enjoy tinkering as much as I do, that's just part of the adventure. I've got links to the Wand Mini in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep creating!